Well, I think the Jamaat has, as you say, tried to convey a more moderate position. There's a lot of indoctrination, within the Jamaat. The leaders may be now saying different things, but they can't go very far from that indoctrinated, the mass of their supporters. We have not taken any, except for some reciprocal steps which were triggered by the attitude and the some actions of the interim government. So, because in the beginning they were riding high on rhetoric. Well, if Jatiya Party comes up with this usual 30, 40 seats or whatever they used to get, then they will be in parliament and they will be a factor. No, I don't think you will have a very stable government. But as for the July Charter, I have no problem if the July Charter is discussed in the National Assembly after the elections. Today, I don't think the army is interested in having the students grab power and they will support them.
Just quickly, so you expect BNP, hypothetically, if we assume that it is coming to power with Tariq Rahman naturally the prime minister, if not immediately, then they said that Khaleda Zia will be the, someone said that Khaleda Zia will be the prime minister, but she is very unwell. So it will be Tariq Rahman government. So you are saying that you are expecting a refined government to take power now, this time. They must have learned their lessons. Parallelly, there is a feedback from Jamaat that they have also learned their lessons about all these things. And this time they are trying to take the center position. They are trying to leave their Islamic image and all those things. I'm not very clear about it because just the other day, the deputy chief of Jamaat said that they have some 50 lakh people ready to do something with India. So what is your expectation from Jamaat, assuming that it gets prominence in this election?
Well, I think the Jamaat has, as you say, tried to convey a more moderate position. I think their leader has been saying that we want good relations with India. But ideologically, they can't base this kind of an attitude in their own ideology, which is an Islamic ideology where India is seen as the enemy, India is seen as against Muslims, etc. That kind of indoctrination takes place within the Jamaat, within the madrasas that they run, and so there's a lot of indoctrination, within the Jamaat. The leaders may be now saying different things, but they can't go very far from that indoctrinated, the mass of their supporters. So exactly. There is a problem. The Jamaat itself.
I think it will be quite a trouble for Jamaat to manage their audience as well as take the centrist position and maintain a good image. That will be the biggest challenge for Jamaat.
Of course, it will be because how can, for example, how can they cut off ties with the Jamaat in Pakistan? Or because the Jamaat's history, and although they have come round to issuing some kind of apology, I don't know exactly what they said, but I do believe that they have said a few things which indicates that they are sorry for what happened in 1971, because they opposed the independence of Bangladesh and they committed crimes and genocide against the people. So I think that aspect, that history, the younger generation may not remember that, and perhaps that is the reason why people are saying, okay, we can accept the Jamaat. But the older generation, which knows this history, will find it very difficult. There will, of course, be political, what shall I say, pressures to accommodate the Jamaat, because if it gets a fair amount of seats, then the BNP will have no option but to get somebody to form a coalition, which they had to do last time also. But I don't know who will get more seats. They may be the the Jatiyo Party also will get some seats. The Students' Party will get some seats. So it will be like this, a mosaic, etc. And I don't think that will contribute to a very stable situation or a stable government.
Right. Before we move to the last question about stability, here is an Indian paradox. We have to deal with at least three distinct forces in Bangladesh. You had this is a country where in 1971 is your baggage. Some people don't like you because you were in 1971. Simple. However small they are. Second is we have to deal with these people. Now, see, we have our experience with Awami League, except the security part and initial 7-8 years. There were issues at the end with Awami League. And obviously, they invited their own downfall by the 2018 rigged election and all those things. And these are all proving a baggage to us. We had a problem with BNP. Jamaat is there. We don't know whether we can trust them. So how do you see the Indian situation? It's quite paradoxical.
Well, there is, as you say, a lot of baggage of history, because of the way Pakistan was created and then how Bangladesh was created. Plus, there is an overhang of geography. I mean, let us not forget the geography. India surrounds Bangladesh, except for 240 kilometers of the Myanmar border, which is also a very disturbed. Now, Bangladesh has to take that into account. We do a lot of trade with Bangladesh, and trade has not stopped. I mean, India has not interfered with trade. They need essential commodities from India, and we have never thought that we will stop all that to put pressure on Bangladesh. We have not stopped the electricity. There may be issues with the contract, and because of the new government wanting to renegotiate some of the contracts, or we have not stopped the flow of petroleum products through the refinery.
We haven't stopped the flow of essentials. I mean, we didn't try to sabotage them.
We have not taken any, except for some reciprocal steps which were triggered by the attitude and some actions of the interim government. So, because in the beginning they were riding high on rhetoric, कि हम इंडिया को दिखा देंगे क्या है ये है वो है. So that kind of rhetoric doesn't last very long when you realize the ground realities, the harsh realities of geography, the harsh reality, not harsh I would say, but the realities of our relationship, the connectivities, etc., that we have. Of course, none of them are now operational, but only those are operational where they need it, energy, etc. Others are, I don't know, in abeyance. They want to. I think one of the student leaders said we have revoked all the agreements. Then he was refuted by the foreign advisors.
This is madness. I mean, that student leader is in charge of rural development or something else, and
so
he's talking about the external affairs.
Yeah. Some of them are, those are rhetorical things to show how angry we are with India, or how much we hate India, etc. That's fine. I mean, they can say all those things, but the reality, those of us who deal with realities know that you cannot wish them away. And I think those who deal with the realities also understand that. And so I think, but they are trying various things like moving closer to Pakistan. Pakistan is also dangling certain advantages. That you can use.
Karachi playing a lot of dirty tricks over there.
Whatever advantages they are offering. But will those advantages be cost effective? That's the only question I have. If they are cost effective, by all means, Bangladesh can use.
No, I don't think that they are talking about economics because you see, some wheat or rice, something they are purchasing from Dubai, so which is essentially Indian thing. So that is a Pakistani model. Pakistan buys lots of things from Dubai, which are redirected through Dubai from India to Pakistan, not the direct trade. So this is.
I know about that. When I was Consul General of India in Karachi, the last one, they threw me out. I remember talking to the businessmen there, and they told me very clearly that there's no problem in trade. with India. I said, how come we have so many restrictions? At that time, it was limited to certain number of, there was an approved list of 560 odd items that could be traded. They said, sir, there's no problem. We have all, what you call companies or whatever, associates in Dubai who order it and they send it to us. So, like Singapore, Dubai also functioned as an entrepot. Otherwise, how do you explain India's trade with Dubai? It's over 100 billion. Where Dubai is a small place, it cannot consume all that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
obviously, it goes to Pakistan, to
I
some other.
think some 1/4 or something, 1/5 of our total smartphone exports are directed to Dubai. Because from Dubai, it goes to some other places.
Well, I think it also goes to Iran, for example, because it's close by, and to Pakistan, and to various other countries in the Middle East. Because Dubai basically functions as an entrepot, like Singapore, for example. Our trade with Singapore is huge. Now, where does all that those items go? They go all over the southeast and various other places. And so that
So
is the situation.
back to the topic is that what I tried to mean is that they are, kind of, I mean, if you talk about logic, that is not selling at this moment with them to that extent, because logically these things are not work. So right at this moment, it's all politics and political rhetorics. And for that, they are ready to suffer collateral losses in some cases.
Yeah, you are shooting yourself in the foot, because when it starts pinching, when you look at your budget and you look at the bottom line, you will find that buying from India is cheaper than buying from Dubai. Can you
Yeah,
imagine coming from Dubai all the way across the Arabian Sea, then Bay of Bengal, whereas you can buy it across the border in India? And there is no debate there. Any economist will tell you all this, but the rhetoric of these people is that I have to show that that I am taking some
I have to
actions.
show that I have stopped buying it from India. I mean, that's
Yeah.
it.
Well, they are welcome to do so. Trade is not forced on anybody, and but the reality is that that would be extremely short-sighted, because after all, we have been trading for a
So,
long.
sir, back to the topic. I just forgot to ask you about one particular element. If there is a free and fair election, we discussed about with Awami League, without Awami League situations, right? Now, there is a third situation as well, is where there is a free and fair election, but without Awami League. And in that free and fair election, Jatiya Party is allowed to do its part of job freely. Because please remember, Jatiya Party is not included in all these dialogues so far. So whatever happens, it has to accept. It had no right to discuss even so far. So do you think that Jatiya Party has a role to play?
Well, if Jatiya Party comes up with this usual 30, 40 seats or whatever they used to get, then they will be in parliament and they will be a factor. That is for sure. But I'm going back to the point about having elections without Awami League. And that will not be acceptable to the large number of people. And you will probably see a very low voter turnout also. Or maybe, some people will not vote, or some people might switch votes. That's going to happen. My own sense is that if they allow, and they should allow, Awami League to take part, Awami League will not win because of the conditions and because of what happened. So there is a backlash against Awami League. So let them take part and let them feel that backlash by suffering in the elections, if I may put it that.
They are
But that's
afraid that Awami League, assumes, I mean, if Awami League goes today, they will most likely be the opposition, whosoever comes to power. So,
so what? I mean, so what's the difference? They can be in the opposition. The others can combine and form the government, in which I would include the BNP, Jamaat, the NCP, or whoever. The Jatiya Party can be
but
in
they
the
don't
opposition.
want, I mean, even BNP doesn't want Awami League to participate.
But they have, if I'm not mistaken, they have said Awami League should take part in the election. I don't know. I'm subject to correction, but that's the
They
impression
said
I have.
in the beginning, they said that everyone should. Then, when everyone demanded to throw Army League out, they said, fine, throw Army League out. And I mean, last few statements that I saw from different, I mean, I don't think that Tariq Rahman and etc. are talking anything against. Right at this moment, they are only focused. They are very insecure that they will not get the power. They have grown insecure. In the beginning, they were very confident that, Army League is out, now they are coming to power. But now they have become insecure whether they will be in power.
Yes, that is because of the how the things have dragged along, and they probably also feel that the election commission and others, which are now being all sort of changed, and somehow it will be weaponized to ensure that the BNP doesn't get a majority. It's quite possible that could happen. And so now they are inclined towards saying that if the Awami League is not there, then perhaps it is advantageous for us. That's the kind of thinking I believe. But in the beginning, as you said, that they did say, because
Yes,
they also realize that without the Awami League, the elections will be, some people will call it a farce.
without the Army League, it is a problem for them because then the election is not very acceptable. So
Correct. Yeah.
so fine. Now, given all these things, let's not prolong it. Given all these things, is you said that the country will remain unstable. I mean, the inputs we shared so far, none of them are talking about stability, are indicating any stability. This country was divided on the 71 issue, and now they have more divisions within them. The Jamaat has become extremely ambitious. Certain things are also in their favor because both BNP and Awami League failed in delivery of governance in certain cases. And so it is a hodgepodge now, complete hodgepodge. So, and on top of that, this July Charter, where they are dictating the parliament and it is kind of overwriting the whole situation. So that be said, I mean, given even if there is a free and fair election, if there is an Awami League, please understand that there is a July Charter already, of which Awami League and Jatiya Party are not party. So do you think that it will be stable in any case in next few years?
No, I don't think you will have a very stable government. But as for the July Charter, I have no problem if the July Charter is discussed in the National Assembly after the elections and let them decide that I would like to have this part of the July
No,
Charter
it is
or
not a discussion. It is not in discussion stage. They have put it in paper that it has to be taken. And if
no,
you don't, if you
nobody is going to accept that. No party is going to accept that. And I think you cannot dictate like that. Then what's the difference between you and Hasina? You had an agitation, you threw out what you called a fascist government. And if you start behaving similarly, then what was the point of the so-called revolution, as they call it, or so-called agitation? So I don't think the people are going to accept that kind of diktat, as if it's a dictatorship, that what I say has to be accepted. If you want acceptance, go for election, go have a national assembly elected.
opportunity of declaring a revolutionary government.
No, or you don't have election. You grab power as military dictators do, and you say, okay, sorry, but they don't have that capacity because you need the army, for example, to on your side to grab power. I mean, that is definitely the case, and I have seen the caretaker government during 2007 to 2009 and how it functioned. Although there was a civilian caretaker government, but the army was behind it and they were helping them in so many activities. Today, I don't think the army is interested in having the students grab power and they will support them. I doubt very much if the current the Bangladeshi army today is interested in that kind.
No, I also don't think so. I mean, it's not matching. So army is not going to assert, and the politics is divided, and they do not know. Some people have signed on a piece of paper, and after so many things, this Ali Riaz committee, which said that here is a piece of paper which even if you in parliament don't include it, it will be auto included. God knows
No.
what does it mean. I mean,
What is the legal basis for it? There won't be any, how can
that is
you?
what people are discussing. That what is the legal basis of
No, I
the
know. I'm trying to understand how you can impose it without a proper procedure, a legal or a political procedure or a parliamentary procedure. I would like to be educated and as to how you can just say this is the charter and everybody has to follow. That's not how democracy works. That's not how that any democracy goes around conducting its business. So I am not so sure whether this is the right path.
Thanks, sir. Thanks for giving time. It had been a quite long discussion.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Thank you very much.